True. You can't run, you can't hide. We're pulling back the covers. Here's where the truth be told. Angel of light in disguise. It's time you were exposed. Here's where the truth be told. No more deceiving my eyes. The seals are broken now. Here's where the truth be told. No more believing the lies. Ain't got no time for that. Here's where the truth be told. Watch and pray and be wise. The Bible has the answer. Here's where the truth be told. No more games, no more compromise. We are God's holy people. Here's where the truth be told. 1, 2, 3. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Hey, prove me now and I will heal the land. I'll heal the land. If my people would seek me, heal the land. I'll forgive their sin, each and every one of them. Heal the land. I will bless your seed, which will cause a harvest, don't you know? Heal the land. I will touch your mind, and I'll cleanse and make you whole. Heal the land. I'll heal the land. I will heal the land. Heal the land. If my people call my name, heal the land. That's my jam. Hey, Shalom family. Welcome. I am your Brew-tiful girl, and this is my channel, Truth Be Told. Yes, welcome back. So this is our second video, our second telltale video. We call them telltale because here the truth is told. We're telling the truth. This is Truth Be Told. You like that play on words? So this is our second one. The first one was called Black Christ Matters, and you know what? I think that video was pretty good. You might want to go back and watch it. It's foundational, and it just tells you the significance of why Christ being black does matter. He is our King, and he's coming back. His name is Yeshua, the Black Messiah. The subject matter for this video, it was just a no-brainer. Because after you find out that Christ was black, then you need to know that you know what you are. And this video is entitled "You Lost Your ID Card." You can find it in Deuteronomy 28. You like that? That's clever. Well, I can be corny like that. But this video is going to be dealing with identity, and telling you, it is the biggest secret in the world right now. It is the biggest truth in the world. This finding out when you'll see that there's nothing more important than that. And you know what? The earth is waiting. The Bible says in Romans 8 that all creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. And so I'm telling you, the reason why? Because Esau has wore this planet out. This planet is wore out. I mean, all of the pillaging, all of the killing, all of the turning over of the dirt. There's hardly anything that he ain't turned over. All of the not just killing of people, but killing of animals. I mean, the colonization, the wickedness that Esau has brought into this world. The Bible says that when it says that that evil increased when Esau's descendants became ruler. When they took over the world. So we are, we're going to talk about that because it's really important that we get back on code. That we need to get back. We need to get out together. That's what creation is waiting for us to get our stuff together. But why? Because the Bible says when the righteous rules, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. I mean, even the grass rejoices, the plants, the animals rejoice. I'm telling you. So the truth that we're going to talk about now in this video is a truth that unites all of the Israelite camps and churches. So, those of us who consider ourselves Israelites or have come across this truth, we know that there is a particular passage of scripture that we all agree on. I mean, there may be some nuances and or major differences in doctrine going from camp to camp, but this is the one thing that brings us together that's undeniable. And for me, it was paradigm shifting. I mean, I ain't gonna leave you in suspense. What is it? We are the Israelites. We are the biblical Israelites. If you don't know that, we are, and whether you like it or not, or accept it or not, it's the truth. If you are descendants of slaves, then you are an Israelite. And for those of you who think you are a half breed or you mixed or you're half black, half whatever, half white, whatever you think you are, the Most High took care of that too. He's good like that. In fact, if you read in Numbers 1:18, he says that your pedigree is determined by your father. So whatever your daddy is, that's what you are. So you are mixed up no more. Did I bless you with that? Yes. So there is a passage in the scriptures that tell us exactly who we are. The Most High was very particular about wanting easily to be understood in the end times because most of the prophecies in the Bible are really for the Israelites of the end times. That's what makes the Bible so cool. No other book, no other religious book has prophecy and has pinpoint accurate prophecy. You see what I'm saying? So it's we're gonna try to bring it in this in kind of two videos. I didn't want to try to pack it all in one. I wouldn't want to wear you out because I'm telling you, this thing can really be heavy, and you got to determine what you're gonna include, what you're not gonna include. But I mean, I was just so excited to find out that I was an Israelite. That beyond 1619, this little old black girl right here is from the royal house of Israel, the blood descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're gonna prove it all here. If you have any doubt in your mind at all, if you have any doubt in your mind at all, we gonna break it down for you right here. Now, just a little backstory, and I'm gonna be super fast. I'm gonna be super fast. My pastor, several years back, he was before the congregation, and he said he asked God, "Why are we on the bottom? Why are black people struggling? Why are we in the shape that we're in?" You know, and I'm a why girl. I have always been a why girl. I always wanted to know why, because that why is get to the bottom of things, right? And I wanted to know the answer to that too. And December 2020, the Most High dropped that truth on us, and I'm telling you, it was paradigm shifting. My life has never been the same since, because identity is everything, y'all. Knowing who you are, what you are, and whose you are. And we're going to find all that out in this video. I'm telling you right now. So it came about watching a Stephen Darby video, Pastor Stephen Darby. I'm telling you, he was my first teacher in this truth. I thank God for the life for the life of Stephen Darby. Shout out to Destin Ministries. I I'm thankful for what I gleaned from him, and I've since starting with him, I have gone to glean and feed from other tables, but um, they sparked a research, a quest for knowledge, and it started with the Bible because now the Bible reads different. I've always been a lover of the Bible, but I'm telling you, once you find out who you are, you're looking there, you see your people, you recognize yourself, and once you understand the overall narrative of the Bible, then you realize that the Most High, even though it doesn't look like He loves us as a people, it doesn't look like it if you just looked at our condition, but He loves us. He loves us with. I mean, He loves us most. And I know people don't accept that. If you read my favorite scripture, which is Deuteronomy 7:6, you'll find out that we are a special people unto Himself, you know, and above all other people of the earth. Mm. Now, And you stick with this channel, you'll come to understand what I have come to understand, and there's going to be a whole lot of questions answered. But so that brings us to this moment. This moment is, you know, what I've been looking forward to sharing on YouTube once we decided to go this way. And we're going to bring it to you like we said we were going to bring it, which is we're going to give you the scientific or the DNA proof, we're going to give you the historical proof, and we're going to give you the biblical proof, which is the most important proof. You know, that's all I need. The Bible, if it doesn't confirm if it doesn't confirm the Bible, then we don't mess with it, you know. So we're going to bring it to you, and I just want to encourage you to get your Bible, get you some duct tape, as I say all the time, because your mind may be blown uh, with the information that we're going to share, and approach this like a child. You know, Christ said, "Come as little children." We need to make sure that we are willing to forsake everything for the truth. Because the Bible says that there's going to be a time when the Most High would send a strong delusion for the people that love not the truth, and for the people that love not the truth, their salvation is going to be is in jeopardy. And so, as you know, as I say all the time, truth is like an arrow. So we're going to bring the truth, and we're going to we believe that when you finish watching this video or these videos, that you will know exactly who you are. You'll know what your true identity is. So without further ado, you lost your ID card, but you can find it in Deuteronomy 28. We're going to bring to you the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Okay, not that funny. So we're going to answer the question, who are we? We're going to answer the question, what are we? Because we know that we live in America, and we know that we come from Africa. But Africa has like over 50, well, we'll say at least 50 different countries and hundreds of different dialects and cultures. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. So you can't say you're from one place and it has a whole bunch of different kind of cultures and countries. When a person is Irish American, they know exactly where they're from. They know exactly what their language is. They know what their culture is. They know what their people are. So we just can't say we're a whole continent. That doesn't make sense. So we're gonna find we got to find out what we are, who we are, what we are, and then as descendants of slaves, is there anything in the Bible that identifies us? Does God say who we are? Considering all of the different things that the Bible talks about historically, things that actually happened prophetically in the Bible. So surely it's something as traumatic and huge as the transatlantic slave trade. Surely the Bible talks about that. It talks about all these other empires and other major events, but it's something as big as the transatlantic slave trade. Surely, 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 who are the descendants of slaves, and does the Bible talk about it? Are we in the Bible? And that, family, brings us to the most important question, and that's whose we are. And we're about to find out right now. Wait. I can't go into the curses without making this a very valid, crucial point. And that is the covenant, the moment that God made the covenant real, official with his people. It's found in Exodus 24, 3 through 8. I've got to read this because this sets the stage of the severity of the curses to come. Verse 3, Exodus 24, verse 3. When Moses went and told the people all the Lord's words and laws, they responded with one voice. everything the Lord has said we will do. Moses then wrote down everything the Lord had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he set young Israelite men, and they offered burnt offerings and sacrificed young bulls and fellowship offerings to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood and put it in bowls, and the other half he splashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it to the people. They responded, "We will do everything the Lord has said. We will obey." Verse 8. Moses then took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words." It was a blood covenant. And if you know anything at all about how the Most High feels about blood, about the shedding of innocent blood, about animal blood, about any blood. The reason why the blood is so important to the Most High is because the life of the flesh is the blood is the life of the flesh. It also is a part of our soul, so that if there's a shedding of innocent blood, the Most High has a particular judgment for that. Even men not being able to have sex with women when they're in their period, that's very, very serious. That woman is unclean, considered unclean at that time. And when inside of a man's sperm is blood, so young men, you have to be particular about who you choose to take on as your wife, and don't just spread your seed willy-nilly or to just anybody. Also, young women, it's important whose blood you take into your body and who you choose as your husband. That's why the person that you sleep with, the very first person you sleep with, should be your husband. That's how important it is. Now, remember also another instance of why that proves how significant blood is to the Most High is that Christ shed His blood, and He put that blood on the mercy seat in heaven. And it is the blood that the Most High looks at during this grace period. So every time we sin, instead of having the judgment of the law of sacrifice or the judgment of the law coming down on us, and we being killed instantly, or being just dropping dead instantly, like they did in the Old Testament. We have this grace period, and so the Most High sees the blood on that mercy seat, and then we have an opportunity, as long as we're alive, to make things right with the Most High and get back in a place of righteousness, because the blood is covering us. So blood, like I said, is super, super, super serious to the Most High. That is why it is not to be taken lightly when Moses sprinkled the blood on God's people. So this was not just a contractual agreement. This wasn't a pinky swear. This was a blood covenant that He made with His people. The very reason why the curses had to be so severe. And they were. Okay, please overstand, not understand, overstand that this moment in the Bible, this moment in world history, is pivotal for Israel. It is the moment of truth. It is the moment of decision. It is the fork in the road. It's where everything comes down to this. Your whole future depends on what happens right here. The Torah has been brought down from Mount Sinai by your brother Moses. Now it's time for you to make a decision. Now the curses, of course, were awesome. You're going to be on top. Your children are going to be blessed. The fruit of your womb, everything you touch is going to be a blessing. Blessed coming in, blessed going out. You're going to be the head, not the tail. Like I said, you're going to rule over all other nations of the earth. Yeah, that's very appealing. Let's face it, they weren't going to pass this deal. But then comes the curses, starting with verse 15 all the way to 68. Now notice that the curses is at least three times as many as the blessing. So Most High was breaking it down and saying it's going to be way worse, way multiple number of curses that come on you than it was the blessing. Because if you're blessed, you don't need you would say, hey, look, you got the favor of God, and I'm going to be your God, and you're going to be my people. Nobody's going to be able to mess with you. You ain't got to say that in a whole bunch of verses. But he has something for them, and he spelled it all out and listed it from 15 to 68. That's what we're going to talk about. And this was after he had brought them through the Red Sea. He had. I love how the Most High. He said, he made sure that he did this spectacular miracle before them, where they could not question if he was worth serving, if he was worthy of their worship and their obedience. So he proved himself. They couldn't. The Red Sea miracle. They needed to be on the other side. It was on the right side, so they couldn't do anything but think back. Hey, this God is God. Well, let's just read it. Deuteronomy 28:15. We're gonna get started right now. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. See, he's already allowing them to own him. He said, I'll own you. You'll make you special you're a special people unto myself. He said, but you can own me, the Lord your God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. This day. The Lord said, I ain't gonna give you no 24 hours to think about it. I command thee this day that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, these curses is gonna not only are these curses just gonna come on you and you're just gonna be oozing with curses, but they're gonna strangle you. They gonna body slam you. They gonna get out in front of you and hit you upside the head like a two by four. And this is going to go into the future of your children, even way out long after y'all gone and dead. This is going to be for generations to come. Man, let's get into it. Deuteronomy 28:16. All right. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Now let's look at these pictures. As you see that in the top left corner, that's Ahmad Aubrey, who had just gotten killed by these guys who saw him jogging in the neighborhood. Y'all know the story. I'm not getting into detail because I'm trying to keep it moving, right? You see the Black Wall Street when it was burned down. That was an instance of the city. Ahmaud Arbery was in the city. This is in the Black Wall Street was a little city part of the city. You see this police officer having just killed this young man, his body just laying in the street. And then you see photograph. That's not actors. That's not a drawing. That is a photograph of slaves. They're in the field. They just finished picking cotton. So it says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Cursed shalt thou be in the field." So you cursed pretty much anywhere you go is the point here. Wherever you are, you're going to be cursed. People thought that they were pulling themselves up by the bootstrap, and just a few years outside of slavery, they created a Black Wall Street where they were just completely self-sufficient in just about every single way. See, we black folk, we can do that. We really can, because we always had the ingenuity to do this. But then this is what happens. And the reason why it wasn't just so much because they were low down. This is because they didn't do what? They didn't hearken unto the voice of the Lord, their God. Deuteronomy 28:17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. So the store is kind of like a bank or even a place where you store stuff. So that's going to be cursed too. here, we're talking about bank loans. You may not be able to get to your money because they own the banks. Your oppressor owns your banks. Uh, the history of lending discrimination in the United States. You see that part of the slide right there. The stolen patents. I'm telling y'all wouldn't believe the number of patents that have been stolen from Black people. As I mentioned in a recent post, even KFC, that that original recipe, uh, that was a Black woman's. I think she was a slave who original recipe responsible for that. It was stolen, and now Colonel Sanders and his descendants are set up for the rest of their lives. You know, cursed shalt thou be in thy basket and thy store. Deuteronomy 28:18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind. The kind is like cattle, and the flocks of thy sheep. So everything that you produce and that you put your hands to. But the part that sticks out on this verse is the fruit of thy body, and this is a the part that I think that as mothers it means a lot to us because the fruit of our body is our children, right? As you can see, the most dangerous place for a Black child is in the mother's womb. We uh, abort more babies than any other people on the planet. I don't know if you see Natasha Harlan. Latasha, it's right there on the side. I don't know if you can see it or not, but she was just going in the store, and the Chinese woman thought she was stealing and just basically shot her point blank. That was in California years and years and years ago. About, I think late 70s. You can look her up. Of course, you see Tamir Rice. You see the very tragic story of Lynn Bias, and of course Benji. And it just tells the story. This depiction. It just talks about how our children are not safe. The fruit of our loins, are cursed in every possible way, and we see that. We see that today like never before. As every generation, it gets worse. Deuteronomy 28:19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Y'all see? Yeah, Trayvon Martin. He was just going to the store, get him some Skittles and a little tea, and some vigilante decided that he didn't look safe. No, don't have no business messing with this young man. No reason to suspect him. No reason to be even out that late at night. Actually, trying to be some kind of patrol. It shoots the young man down. We don't know, as indicated in this slide. We don't even know. We have to tell our boys, keep your hands where the police can see you if you get stopped. But we don't know where they're gonna come home. We don't even know. There was a time when we had what you call that what you call it sundown towns, where you had to be in your own house in America, or by a certain hour of the day. Blacks couldn't just be out freely at night. No real autonomy, and you don't know what might happen. You go in, and when you go out, you don't know if you're gonna come back in. That's cursed, and that's us. Deuteronomy 28:20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. See, the Most High, He has right, you know, to do what He wants to any of us. But when He chooses you, it's a whole lot expected from us. Too much is given, too much is expected. So the reason why you see us seemingly like even when we're just trying to do what it takes to be productive citizens, try to find our jobs, the Most High said that we would uh, have the cursing and vexation, and that we would just be depressed, and we wouldn't be able to find purpose and to be able to do the things that productive citizens are able to do. This is us people. Deuteronomy 28 really talks about the suicide rate, or the reason for suicide rates, just not being able to find hope. Y'all know how important hope is? Y'all know I'm a psych major. So hope is very, very important to any people, any people. And we are hopeless people. We don't even understand why it's like a foot is on our neck and we just can't seem to get above water. The Most High said, this is what would happen to you if you didn't keep my commandments. Okay, sometimes if the verses or if the curses are similar, I'll put them in the same verse just to save time. So Deuteronomy 28, 21, and 27, this is what they both say. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he hath consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. 27 says, and the Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. So these are very these are kind of what you call physical afflictions. When you hear the word botch, that's what that means. And MRIs are just kind of any kind of growth. It could be a cancerous growth. It could be fibroids. Lord knows we have all kind of fibroids. Uh, we it could be a tumor. Like I said, it could be a tumor. It could be fibroids. It could be just any kind of growth. And then there's the scab. Scab is affiliated usually with sores or with some kind of skin affliction. And then the itch. And the first thing that comes to mind is, for me, is eczema. My daughter had it growing up. That is characteristics of our people. And of course, it didn't just show up in our generation or in our time. These are some of the things that Israel has had to suffer. Look at this. Look at this slide. It talks about the pestilence that cleave unto thee. These are chronic diseases that don't go away but disappear. You have the heart disease and stroke. You have sickle cell. That is a terrible, deadly disease. That's characteristics of our people in particular. Y'all know how our pre-existing conditions caused many of our people to die during COVID. Uh, like I mentioned the eczema. Then there's arthritis. That is, you can have botches or you can have hemorrhoids due to arthritis. Just you know, you have people that suffer from gout. Gout, is just one of those uncomfortable, debilitating kind of diseases that we have, but specifically amongst our people in large numbers. So we keep our enemies rich, who own as I'm reading on this slide. We keep our enemies rich, who own hospitals and big pharma because of our chronic diseases and destructive lifestyles, because we're not hearkening to the voice of the Lord our God. We're not keeping his commandments. Deuteronomy 28:25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So here's an instance. This slide is to indicate the transatlantic slave trade. The all of the different directions that we have gone as a result of not hearkening to the voice of the Lord thy God. I'm saying these things, and I don't want you to be thinking, oh, well, this has happened to other people. It has not. You can look through the history books. You can look through world history. No other people has endured this kind of curse. Oh, now this one's easy. Deuteronomy 28:26. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth. And no man shall fray them away. So we know that our ancestors were hung, and we're still being hung today. But our ancestors were lynched by the hundreds. I mean, the number of people that were lynched in this country, you know, I'm telling you, that we don't even know all the numbers. But and we know that they would pick things off of our bodies. You know, they cut things off. That's where you get the name picnic. That's why I don't like to use the term picnic. Because it's like pick a nigga. That's what really where it comes from. In case you didn't know. But then they left our bodies out for the carcasses or for the fowl of the air to eat off of. We were just meat for the fowl. We were meat for the beast to come and just maul us and devour us to just eat us right there while we were hanging or if we were burned alive. It's and it's hard to talk about, but we know about gator bait that our children had ropes tied around our babies rather had ropes tied around them. They were placed on the banks of rivers to allure alligators so they could come out and in most cases they would grab the babies and eat them. And while they were eating the babies, they're dragging them right out of the river so that they could be so they could become belts and shoes and purses and wallets and things that people make out of alligator skin. So alligator bait is very much exclusively that an atrocity that we endured. You look at the picture. These are black people that are being barbecued. That's where the term barbecue came from. At least in my research, these are people that are barbecuing black people because it's nothing for Esau to eat people. If you eat raw meat, you'll eat people. So this curse right here, without a doubt, identifies us. Deuteronomy 28, our carcass shall be meat. Deuteronomy 28:28. This is not hard either to figure out because it says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. I mean, we have all kind of eye diseases and we experience blindness. We experience madness or, just depression and basically we have issues with our mind. We have mental illness. It's rampant in our community because it's really just a result of what is I forget the woman who coined the term post traumatic slave syndrome. I mean, you endure the things that we have endured. I mean, that's why you know that Jacob was going to be the one that's stronger. When the Most High talked to Rebecca, said one is going to be stronger than the other. Only we could endure the atrocities that we have endured. Only us. And so we have dyslexia. We have, people, you'll see people walking down the street out of their minds and all of this, you can say, well, that's a result of poverty and this kind of thing. No, it's the curse. It's the curse. Deuteronomy 28:29. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. This is so easy to see that this is definitely a curse on us because we will. Noonday is the time of the day where the sun is at its height, and that's where you should be able to see the most. But then we're groping like we're in the dark. We're groping, we're reaching, we're trying to find our way. You know what I'm saying? And it says you won't prosper. You won't prosper in any of your ways. Look at what happened in Black Wall Street. This is the aftermath, the captured Negroes right here, uh, who were brought to a convention hall right after the riot in Tulsa. Uh, you just you thinking You got a leg up. You think you're playing by the rules. You think that you're doing what you know what brings success, but you're groping, you're reaching, you're scratching, you're you're trying to survive. Even when it seems like it's the clearest, it's just the best time of your life or the clearest time of the day. You're groping like it's dark, like you're. And then it says, "Thou shalt be only oppressed." That means you will only be oppressed. We've been in this country 400 years and we are still oppressed. Oh, we're going to get to it, y'all. We're going to get to it. Only oppressed and spoiled. Spoiled means ruined. Spoiled don't mean, uh, given privileges. No, spoiled means ruined, like bad milk. We're spoiled, and no man shall save thee. That means that you may have people that lead revolts like Nat Turner. You may have people, messiahs that rise up amongst us like King and Malcolm X, and even the great Marcus Garvey, who said, "Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go on back to the motherland." But he could not save us. King could not save us. Malcolm could not save us. Nat Turner, who got the revelation that he was an Israelite, could not save us. No man shall save us. And look at all the other people, Hampton, uh, all these people who tried to save us. No man could save us. No man. And those of you who have this doctrine that you can say this prayer and then you're saved. Look at our communities. Do we look saved? Most of us are still living paycheck to paycheck. The goodies or the nice trinkets or the nice homes and cars and stuff like that, we have to go to our oppressor for that. He says we will be oppressed only and spoiled evermore. Don't think you got it made. You are only as good as the least of you. You are driving a car that they are allowing you to drive. You are in a house that they are allowing you to live in. Because if they decide to pass a law, or they decide to sabotage you in any kind of way, or they decide to shut the grid down, you are just as common as your ghetto brother. We are oppressed people. We are not blessed and highly favored. We are cursed. And this is the proof, people. The most high put it on us. He put it on us. Deuteronomy 28:32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Mm. This wasn't hard to come up with these images for this particular slide, y'all. Y'all recognize this root scene where Belle, who thought she was a good, faithful slave, had already lost the baby on a previous plantation. She didn't think she was gonna get married again, and she found Kunta Kinte, and they had Kizzy. And even though Kizzy, yeah, she did something that was against the slave laws, she just knew, oh no, you can't sell my baby. I've been too good. I've served you all my life. Ooh, Madge Sinclair. That woman earned an Oscar for that scene. If you didn't feel how her heart was ripped out of her body watching her baby being rolled away from her for the rest of her life, the fruit of thy body, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look. And just think about those that were on the ships, that got off the ships, and if they happened to be with their children and to have survived the Middle Passage, watching their babies just being sold off to other people, even getting back on other ships, going to England or to Spain or to some other Edomite country. Can you imagine the pain? This is us, y'all. Nobody else can lay claim to this kind of atrocity. This curse identifies us. And then when that part that says, there shall be no might in thy hands, we don't have any military might, no kind of economical might. We don't have any kind of might where we are able to get our babies back, to make a difference in our community, to 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 to, to be able to empower ourselves. No might. Y'all, this is us. Deuteronomy 28:32. This is us. Deuteronomy 28:30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Mm-mm-mm. I ain't hardly got to say much for this. I ain't really got to say much for all of them, because this describes us to a T. You can be given a wife, or someone says that, yeah, this is your wench, or this is your woman. This is, you can jump the broom, whatever. You can do all that kind of stuff. But if master wants to break something, if he wants to come in the middle of the night and take her and have sex with your wife, these are the kind of atrocities that are unique to our slavery, y'all. That's why our slavery is the worst of all the slaveries in the history. Even when we were under the captivity of the Greeks and under the captivity of the Babylonians and after the Roman captivity, it was nothing compared to this last captivity called America. It is the clay and the iron of the feet of the statue of Daniel. Let's go on. And another man shall lie with her. So, like I say, it doesn't matter. She can be sold off to another plantation, and that same night, master come right in, and what was once your wife is being taken, and her her body is being taken by other men on their whim. Then their houses. You'll build houses. Y'all do know we built the White House, right? We built the plantation house. We built all kind of buildings, federal buildings. I mean, I don't even want to go into that, but y'all, we built some stuff in this country. We are the original stock exchange. They were exchanging slaves first, right? You do know that. So we will be building houses and don't live in them. All kind of houses that we built. We even build houses today that we don't live in, but we built it. And he says that we will plant vineyards. That means that we will plant things that are supposed to bring us prosperity. Grapes represent prosperity. We invest. We put our, what you call it, put our neck into it, put our back into it, into a lot of things, and we don't reap the harvest. He said, "Thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof." We won't eat of the very things. I mean, it goes even back to the patents. Those all of these different inventions, y'all can't even. They're just innumerable, y'all. Even electricity. Ben Franklin lied, talking about he discovered it when we had electricity in Africa, in Timbuktu and the Moors and all that kind of stuff. But he in the history books, he gets the credit with a kite and a key. Y'all see, we're not gathering the grapes thereof. We're the only people that can lay claim to this curse. Okay, so this particular curse and slide kind of ticks me off but I'm going to try to contain myself. Deuteronomy 28:43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. What is the Most High trying? What is the Most High trying to say here? This is about the curse. Is about that we would allow strangers within our midst to come within our gates, to come within our communities, and they would exploit us and become very rich, or they would exploit our community, and they would be able to live off our ignorance or live off our uh, lack of identity. That's the word I'm trying to say. Because we allow these people to not only come within our midst, but they mistreat us too. Like you see a picture of the woman who owns the uh, hair shop, hair store. This Asian woman, and they know when they're in their own land that they can come right over here and plant their little hair shops amongst us and get very rich. That's what it means by very high. And of course, even they know about our love for getting our nails done. They'll come in our midst and they'll, put their little masks on, and you can walk in most of the time. You don't even got to have an appointment, and they will do our nails and pay, and charge us whatever they want to because they know they got it. They know that due to our self-hatred or our lack of priority on things that are important, they can come right in our midst and make millions on us and send their money. They're not going to invest in our community. They're going to take their money and send it home, or they're going to live large on it, or they're going to live comfortably on it because they usually aren't as high maintenance as other people. But they will, at least it keeps them from going, to working in the hub, or in some place amongst us, or for other people. They can take care of themselves. They can take care of themselves. Okay, the people of other communities, not just the Asians, but the West Indians. They can come over here and they can set up um, brow shops and lash shops, and of course the people that own the gas stations. They come right in our midst. They're strangers. We don't say you can't set up shop here. No, we allow anybody in. We allow anybody, and all, even the gods that are attached to them. They'll have their little Buddhas set up, and they'll have their little Hindu gods and stuff like that. And they pray over that hair over there. They sacrifice their hair to their gods over there. So we allow all of these evil spirits amongst us too, unknowingly. We have no idea the spiritual ramifications of allowing people that have uh, other gods in our midst. It's just it's just a horrible thing. And another instance of them getting very high. I mean, this whole Asian hate bill that you see Biden signing, skipping line. I mean, we've been asking for reparations, but they come in and they have just one or two little incidents, and without blinking, they pass it, flying colors, no objections, no problem. I also put down, I put Black Labor, White Wealth, a great book by the great Dr. Claude Anderson, who explains all of this even more extensively. So this is again. Um, Characteristics, particularly of our people, how we allow people in our midst and they get very high, and the Most High said we would come down very low. Deuteronomy 28:44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Man, we ain't gotta we don't want to need 60 seconds for this. But we have always been the ball. We have always been the ones that needed a handout, that what They've been asking for everything as far as our creature needs from our oppressors. We've always been the last hired and the first fired. You know, the sharecropper cycle of poverty. You can read that for yourself. We have, you know, where has there ever been a time where people have come to us to borrow? I mean, we hadn't had anything like that since I guess the last time might have been under King Solomon's rule. That was the last time we were together because we split into two kingdoms under his leadership. But I'm telling y'all, this is us. This is our people. This is who we are. This is a curse that is true to this very moment in time. Deuteronomy 28:44. They are the head. We are the tail. Okay. This is one of my least favorite curses. At least I'll say least favorite slides to show to explain this particular curse. Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, for the Lord shall lead thee. Hmm. I didn't even have to. It wasn't hard making this collage. I mean, I've had so much to choose from. Just the things that have happened over the last year. But this right here is a collage explaining exactly what this curse is all about. And astonishment. Astonishment means surprise or not even surprise, because surprise can be a good thing, but like shock, but in a bad way. Like you're astonished. And the Bible says, or this verse says that we will become an astonishment. That means we will just kind of baffle people. We'll just astonish them when they see us. The images that they're projecting to try and convey, the representation of who we are as a people. And I tell you, we got a lot for them to choose from. I mean, let's just start with the fact that they have called us a half a dozen names since we've been here in this country. They called us nigger, Negro. They called us color. They call us black. They call us Afro American. They call us now. I guess the one that sticks is the African American. And we talked about that earlier, that we couldn't be African American. But both word African and American both came from two Edomites. And you ask an Irish American where he's from, he can tell you probably exactly what town he's from in Ireland or his people from, and the language that they speak, and on and on and on. Their last names, all those kind of things that other people groups can do that we cannot do. Of course, you have Lizzo in the other corner with her mooning people in a basketball game. Now, see that kind of behavior normally that would have had anybody escorted, but no, she is purposefully being made a mascot to misrepresent us as a people, so that when the crap hits the fan and civil war, comes about, we know it's coming. Then they'll be like, look at those people. They are so out of control. They can't even rule and control themselves. They're not worthy. They don't, if they want to decide to annihilate or eliminate or replace, we're going to be the first ones at the top of the list because we're in astonishment. I mean, this woman is a talented artist. She's a flautist, and she's good at it. Plays the flute. She's a pretty good songwriter from all I've heard. So why they're not respecting her gift? They are making her a mascot, um, and she just promotes all those negative things and her image is taken out to all across the world through the airways, you know, through the magazines, through just because we actually export our culture to other nations as well, not just our goods. And why in the heck did our furry eyes become cute? How did the word of that become cute? I mean, come on, furry eyes. I mean, it is. They never show you the instances where these girls that get these lash extensions, where they have eye infection, and one girl went blind, and I saw somebody posted that once, and those are the kind of stories you don't hear, because this is a major side hustle for a lot of us. You know, and maybe it makes them enough to pay bills, but everything that pays bills doesn't. If it's not honorable, then it's not something we should do. If it's not something that's promoting good health, good character, good, things that are, honorable amongst our people, it's not something we should be exploiting or making a buck off of. We're in astonishment. Look at Nene Leakes. People. She's only a celebrity because she is the poster child for the out of control, loud black woman who will say and do anything, cut you down if she doesn't like it. All because not because she's confident. See, y'all think that that exudes confidence. No, that exudes insecurity. That exudes self-hate. I mean, the woman has had a nose job. She wears blonde wigs now. Have you seen her lately? I mean, it's a big old mess. It's just a big old mess. Nene Leakes is not somebody that we should be looking up to, or, uh, you know, I don't care how much money she gets, because they'll give you little trinkets if it means to make us look bad. I hate to even go to the the Billy Porters and Will Smith mixed up son, but modeling dresses and skirts, and it's more than just them. But this is an astonishment, y'all. Think about it. No other people, nobody else have images like this that's being broadcast or being exported to the whole world. Nobody. Lil Nas X. I don't even think he professes to be gay, but he, on the award shows kissing men in the mouth and giving Satan lap dances in his videos, and selling sneakers that have human blood in them with the number 666 on it, and that's an astonishment. Look at the stiletto nails. I hate that trend. I don't understand why that even became acceptable. That's not even safe. How you wipe your butt with nails that look like claws, that look like witches' fingers? I mean, really? How? That ought to be unsanitary for you to work anywhere, because you're gonna have stuff underneath your nails that you can't take time from your job cleaning your nails all the time. You can't run to the bathroom and wash your hands. But I mean, just wiping your butt. Come on. You probably can't fix food if you got stiletto here. It's just stiletto nails. Terrible trend. But we're gonna just we grab a hold of anything that they put before us. That's the power of imagery, y'all. And but we don't even our sense of righteousness is so warped that we don't even see that is not beautiful, that is not attractive. We'll look at it as simply as different, and then we'll say that, well, I'm just expressing myself. No, you're not, because everybody's doing it. There's nothing unique about you. You wearing the same wig, colored wigs. Look at Nicki Minaj. You know, we don't. If you look at some of her old pictures, you see that she's had all kind of jobs done to her. Uh, Poor little Kim. We literally have to go back and look at pictures to try and remember what she used to look like. And she was cute. She was fine. She was just fine the way she was. Now, she's just astonishment. The young lady who's in the corner there. I'm gonna call her a young lady, because she probably was when she took this picture, but now she's mooning everybody, taking a picture with her behind completely uncovered. Thank God she at least got some long socks on, and if it wasn't for that word Hershey, I guess I don't know what she's doing. I don't know but that's an astonishment, y'all. You know what's else an astonishment? The mere fact that we spend $2 million on Jordans, we spend $4 million on liquor. Like, this is a year. We spend $40 million on beauty and hair care. You can see the kind of money that comes through our hands. That's an astonishment. That's why the people know, like when we talked about the stranger coming among us, they know that they can come to us because they know that we have no identity. We don't have any kind of uh, covering or any kind of structure in our communities, because our men have been pretty much almost erased or eliminated, or considered irrelevant. Our women run everything, and so that's why we have all these feminine boys and men that exist now. our community is upside down, and they know that because they know that if that's the case, then they can make millions, billions on us, and they do. That's an astonishment, and that proves that this identifies us probably in the most obvious way. Look at the young lady with the lashes. It's like caterpillars or spiders, or I don't know what you call them, but her eyes are infected. Down in the center there, you see black people at the hookah lounge. The hookah lounge became a little trend where people were literally. I mean, why did they become popular? I mean, you're basically smoking a giant cigarette. A giant cigarette, y'all. You hear me? We made that the trend. I mean, you said it in our community. We make it. We'll make you make billions off of. Because we always trying to find some kind of way to satisfy our flesh or to make ourselves feel good or to feel like, we're living our best life or we are, just, always got to have fun, always got to have pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Or, trying, and oftentimes we're just comparing ourselves to other people, but we're not comparing ourselves to what we need to be comparing ourselves to. The multicolor hair. This girl down here with the blue glasses got the same color hair, same color as her glasses or her shades. Um, we see women walking around with purple hair, green hair, blue hair. Uh, that's an astonishment. I mean, yeah, there was a time when you have this goth culture where you may see black kids walking around with black hair and black fingernails and all this stuff, but that's not the image that they project. That is kind of the fray. That's not the people that represent them as a whole. And because you're gonna have that in every culture, but this is like they're trying to suggest that this is mainstream. And then if you look around and amongst our community, it almost looks mainstream. I mean, we see women that are constantly dressed sexy, always trying to show skin in the most inappropriate places in the having so-called hot girl summers. I hear Christian women talking about they having a hot girl summer. So-called Christian women. Well, they really are Christian women because you know how I feel about Christianity. But anyway, this is just page one of the astonishment. We can go. I got a whole other page for you, y'all. I mean, look at this. We spend more money on BBLs than any other set of women in the world. We buy jeans that have holes in them already, big holes in them. I mean, they can't even get too big. This one right here on the end with the purple hat on, she need to go and take those pants off. She ain't got on her pants for all practical purposes. But this is an astonishment. Who buy? I mean, I don't know if they bought them like this, but let's just assume that they did. They knew that we would buy them. That's what the people do when they have no identity. They messed up. Dwayne Wade, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. He is probably he was kind of I was kind of surprised to find out what a simp he was. That he allowed Gabrielle Union, who's just trying to be relevant, to trying to be a woman with a cause, and to try to make her life mean something. So she didn't convince him to let him raise a son to be a daughter. Then change the birth certificate and all that kind of stuff, allowing him to identify as a girl. That's what if you got a man and a female, a mother and a father in the house, that kind of stuff shouldn't happen. That's an astonishment. I refuse to call that boy a girl because he is a boy. And nowadays, people are letting their kids have hormone therapy to try and literally change their sex before they even turn 18. Even kids, y'all, I'm even kids under 10 years old. I'm telling you, Satan is after our children. I say that all the time, but it is the truth. Now, somebody explain to me why this football player at the Super Bowl this year came dressed like Kamala Harris in this suit. And he looks ridiculous. He don't even look comfortable. He didn't even look happy. It's like somebody made him do it. Like they had something against him and said, okay, you know what you got to do? You got to go to the Super Bowl dressed like Kamala Harris. Or you got to go to the Super Bowl dressed in a really nice pantsuit. I mean, I'm telling you, he does not wear it well, and I don't know if there's pearls around his neck. I can't tell, but it's just a big old mess, big old masculine man finna actually get on the field, and they made a special effort to make sure that he comes out and shows the world that our black men, I don't care how masculine and how rich or how whatever, how talented, whatever the case is, they are they are pathetic. They are not leaders. They are $40 million slaves. That's a book. I don't even want to say nothing about this dude with, who looks like kind of like Tweety Bird with the lashes, and he has this whole persona that he likes to show up on social media, and people, he just TikTok. That's his thing, and TikTok is evil. If your child is a part of that, or y'all need to get away from it, because I'll talk about TikTok and other social media things on another show. P Valley, that is absolutely an abomination. They're glorifying the lives of strippers. They're glorifying homosexuals. They're glorifying I mean, just the worst of our community. Everything that's horrible about us. Even the girl, one of the main characters, her mother is, a big wig at a church. But she's corrupt, so she goes ahead and takes the money that her daughter gives. At least that's the way it was when it first came on. But you know who gives these kind of shows their ratings? Christians, our people. We think that this is, look how raw it is. Look how this and that. Oh yeah, I won't make a big deal out of the homosexual scenes or this kind of stuff. But this is an astonishment. The P in Valley, I mean the P in P Valley is an astonishment. Why would you call a show that? I'm telling you, we are in the valley of the shadow of death, y'all. We are in an emergency situation, and these two slides that prove that this verse, this curse, applies only to our people, indicates the kind of trouble that we are in if we do not return to the laws of God and hearken to His voice. That's the only thing that can save us. That's the only thing that can save us. Deuteronomy 28:45 and 46. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Let me say that again. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Verse 45, it talks about that these curses are going to be in pursuit of us. They are going to hunt us down. Even when we think we got a leg up, or we making progress, it hunts us down. It pursues us. It's always right there behind us. We look around and boom, it's right there in front of us. And overtake us. That means it just kind of just wrestles us down. It just body slams us like the wrestlers, WW, whatever it is. But it overtakes us, meaning that we can't get away from it. It's right there. It's like it surrounds us, but it doesn't just surround us. It handles us. It has us in its grip. Those are what these curses are going to do, and all because we didn't hearken to the voice of the Lord our God. He is the one that allows us to call him our God. He's claiming us, and he's allowing us to claim him. No other nation has that privilege, y'all. That's why to whom much is given, much is required. To keep, because we didn't keep his commandments and his statutes that he commanded us to do. And then, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. A sign is something that is an indicator, something that helps you identify a particular location or a place, or even a brand. You know what I'm saying? That's what a sign. That's like when you see those golden arches. Anywhere you see those golden arches, you know you're gonna. That's the place where you can get a terrible hamburger and some greasy fries and some fake meat and a playground for your kids and ice cream cone and a bad fish sandwich and did you name it? Now, but it'll be like a sign. And Most High knew that we were going to be living in. It was going to come a time when we were going to be so far removed from our ancestors that that had the true gospel, that had um, they had the true doctrine of Christ. That we were going to be so far removed that they knew that white Jesus was going to come in, and we were going to be, we were going to have to contend with the Catholic Church that persecuted King James, who was a black man, a black king of 3 monarchs. Uh, they knew that we would eventually be persecuted in the Spanish Inquisition. They knew that we were going to eventually be part of the transatlantic slave trade. They said so. The worst off we got as time went, the curses that this overtook us and pursued us. He knew that there was going to come a time when we would forget who we are. In fact, he says it says it in the scriptures that we would forget who we are. And our conspirators in Psalms 83 said they were going to make the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. So the Bible confirms this over and over again that we would eventually forget who we were. And so that's why we would need a sign, because there were going to be people that were going to hate on us. They were going to be people that were going to impersonate us. There are people that are actually impersonating us right now. We'll talk about that later. And that there was going to be a time when we were going to be trying to assimilate and into a culture that didn't want us, that was going to hate on us, that was going to try to destroy us and annihilate us. So he knew that thanks to King James, that the Bible would be published to all the corners of the earth where we would be scattered, and that we would read this verse. That's why they don't want you to read the Old Testament, y'all. That's why they don't want you to know that returning to God's laws is the solution. We're going to talk about that later. But this would be that these curses would be a sign upon us, and it would be a wonder and upon our seed. So all those people that Moses was talking to when these things were handed down to Israel, he wasn't even talking about just them. He was talking about people that thousands of years later, this would be upon thy seed. And if you can trace black people's DNA all the way back to the Israelites. Let's take a break now. Part 2 coming up. Thank you, fam.
Truth. You can't run, you can't hide. We're pulling back the covers.
Here's where the truth be told.
Angel of light in disguise. It's time you were exposed.
Here's where the truth be told.